Hey guys, Milos here, and as you can see the 6 triangles there, what are they all about? Well, I'm going to do a quick summary on the 6 steps, the 6 basic steps that it takes to make this business work. Okay, so why these 6 steps are so important is because if any one of them are missing in your business, then your business probably won't be having the results that you really want to have. So it is a summary. This isn't actually going extensively through the 6 steps, so you can do that through the more in-depth videos with some of the top earners in Your Health Australia. But these videos will basically be, this video will basically show you exactly where you might be missing some sort of key things in your business, and then you can backtrack and go, okay, well, this is a weakness, so this is what I have to sort out to make sure I'm moving forward with this business. So very quickly, the 6 basic steps. So obviously the first one is your why, and your why has to be split up into 3 areas, right? So obviously the first section is your cause, where you've come from, where you've been, but also not where you've been, where you've seen other people. What are the general frustrations in the world today with people? Obviously one is people struggling with their finances, with money, with their job, and the other one is they're struggling with the health. So these are the 2 things where you might have been as well. Okay, so you use that to be able to relate to people. Then you edify. You edify what you saw in the opportunity, but you also add in how you were skeptical. I mean, generally most of us were skeptical before we started, had that healthy skepticism. So mention that, because then people will relate to it. Not, oh, this is one of these fluffy things. They're like, oh, so this guy thought it was bullshit as well, but then he saw the bigger picture. So edify, but also share the skepticism. And finally, your vision. And this is one that I struggle with a lot of the time in the past, and a lot of people still struggle with this, is being able to articulate your vision, but not only articulate it, having that certainty in where you're going. Because if you don't have certainty, no one's going to join you in your journey. You have to be so certain, not only for where you're going, where the team's going with you, what kind of team success you want to create. And the more certain you are, the more likely people are to join you in your mission and your vision. So the whole point of your why, though, is to relate to people. It's all about relating. So once you relate to people, then people will buy into you. Remember, start with why, because people don't buy what you have or what you do. They buy why you do it, like Simon Sinek says. Okay, so the second step is the list. Now, without a list, you don't have a business. It's as simple as that. I mean, without a list, it's like, who are you actually talking to? You're not going to be able to track it. You're going to be desperate, and you're going to go back to the same people, forgetting what you actually spoke to them about in the first place. So what's your list all about? It can be a customer. That list can be a customer, it can be a promoter, or it can be a big business builder, entrepreneur. 1, 2, or 3. When it comes to the end of the party, you remember in the video, 1, 2, or 3. Where do you want to go from here? And if it's not for them, obviously this is to sort. You're sorting through your list. This is the thing with your list. Rich people sort. Poor people, what's the word? Can't remember the word, but it's something to do with something starting with S. Anyway, so the whole point is, if it's not for them, they would then move into the follow-up, okay? So I'll get to the follow-up, that's step 5, but you would then move them into a follow-up if they don't start straight away, because everyone is going to be a follow-up. Eventually, they'll get started if you keep following up. It just might not be the right timing. Maybe you haven't explained it properly. Maybe they're a little bit confused, whatever it might be. So number 3 is, of course, invite. But again, back to the list, you need to be able to sort through it, okay? And the invite is going to help you be able to share or get that list curious to come and check out what you're doing. So without the invite, then you have no one to expose the business or the products to. So invite is such a key area that most people overlook. Like Dave says, it's the biggest struggle in this business is the invite. This is where the biggest crack is, because when you master the invite, like guys like Nenad and Marco and Dave, when you master the invite, then the people will come and check out what you've got to offer straight away, no questions asked. So how does it work? It starts with it starts with a lead-in story. So not just a big story, because you don't want to lose them either, but a lead-in story. Something like, look, I've seen what Mark has been able to achieve. This guy's gone from driving a truck to now living a life that he's dreamt of, that he never even imagined, being able to be in the Docklands, go to the Gold Coast, travel all around Australia and the world, not have to worry about money, an alarm clock doesn't bother him anymore. again, that's a story, a story about Nana going from a factory to being able to now, not even have to work a job anymore. So again, that's a story. Whatever relates, to people, share that and then move that into what's in it for them. Like WIFM means what's in it for me. So this is what everyone thinks about when you're talking to them. Everyone, even though they won't tell you, they're thinking, what's in it for me? That's what I was thinking when I was there, the first time seeing what your health was all about. All I'm thinking is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? That's what we're always thinking about when we step foot into a retail store. What's in it for me? When someone talks to us, what's in it for me? So that's what people are thinking when you're talking to them. So if you don't address that, they'll tune out. You'll lose them. And then the final thing is, you've got to be able to back it up with the tool. We've got many tools on the website, the Your Team Evolution website. You just need to go send them a tool. The Rise of the Entrepreneur, the short one, that's really, really powerful to show the industry. We've got tools around the company. We've got product tools like never before now, with Matt Bates speaking about the product philosophy. So you need to be able to back it up with the tool, but also set up and edify the tool. Not just, oh, here's a video. Edify. What you're about to see in this video will blah, 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 and tie it back into their values. And the ultimate thing with the invite is the we and the egg cup. This is so vital. Dave always talks about this, and still we miss it sometimes. But we is not saying to them, you're going to be able to achieve this, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that. No, we are going to do something together. Let's see what we think about it. Let's tee up a time and we can go through what we can achieve. Does that make sense? So it's all about we, because that's where the teamwork starts from, rather than just me and you, I and you. It's we as a team, okay? Now, Egg Cup, so powerful. Stands for excited, genuine, certain, urgent, and passionate. I was mentioning this earlier in a voice note in WhatsApp. So if you're missing just one of these, you still might be okay, but at least get 3 or 4 of them, right? At least nail 3 or 4 of them, because if you don't have excitement in your voice, and you're not genuine, and you're not certain, and you don't have any urgency, it might not really get across to that person. Doesn't matter even if you perfect what you're saying, the content. You need to be able to say it with that excitement, with that certainty, with that urgency. Man, this is happening now, dude. We're going into momentum. I want you to have a look at this now before it booms, because everybody's going to know about it. But I want you to be one of the first before it blows up, before this goes crazy. I want you to see it and check it out and see if it's something that we can do together, man. I really reckon if we team up, we could smash this. But I want to see what your thoughts are on it. So something along those lines, guys. Get that egg cup going and really check in with yourself. Do I have all 5? Because I know when I used to check in with myself back in the day, I didn't. I didn't speak with that much enthusiasm. I didn't speak with that much certainty. I didn't have it in my voice, whereas now I do. So check in with yourself and see how you are with those. Number 4, the party. Of course, this is one of the main ways of exposing the business, but it's not the only way. Okay, we do have the 3-way calls, the 2-on-1s, one-on-one meetings, but the party, you've got to schedule it. I mean, if you don't schedule your party, it's never going to happen, right? So if you don't have a plan, like, oh, it's going to be 7 p.m. on Wednesday, then it probably won't happen. So you've got to schedule it. That's number 1. Then you've got to set it up, right? You've got to set it up. So you've got to make sure that you're inviting people. You've got to make sure that you have the speakers, everyone ready, the testimonials, because if it's not set up, how's it going to happen? And initially, the person that's introduced you will help you with your party, but eventually you got to know how to be able to set these things up for yourself and then close it. Of course, again, if you need help closing, you've got the people that, you've got your mentors there, you've got your business partners, you've got your upline. They're all going to help you make sure that these people are getting the value so they can get started. But eventually you're going to get good at it, and then that's what you need to do at the end of the party. Be able to close people so they can get started, because the only way you're going to help someone is when they buy something and they then have the platform and the opportunity to go out there and make something happen with their life. And the whole point of a party is for them to make a decision. Is this something they want to do or not? Simple as that. Like, we can complicate this like I have in the past so much, but in the end, it's like, do you want to give this a shot? Do you want to give this a crack, man? Are you leaning towards entrepreneur set or promoter set? Like, do you see yourself as a 1, 2, or 3? Out of 0 being Milos, leave me alone, to 10, mate, let's do this. I want to make it big. Where are you at? These kind of questions help people identify exactly where they're at and what else they need to know, so that you can help them know that information and answer their questions with clarity, rather than confuse them like I used to. Then the follow-up, the fifth step, second last step, the follow-up. The follow-up is vital, guys. If it's not for them at that point, it doesn't mean it's no forever. In fact, it takes 3 to 8 points of contact to get a sale. But it's not only a sale, remember, it's to get them started so then you can have an ongoing relationship building so they can, you can actually help them get the results they want. And the only way you're going to succeed is by helping other people succeed. So the follow-up, the main thing in the follow-up is really objection handling, because it's a continuing objection handling of where you guys left off. So, being able to say to them, look, man, I know where you're coming from. If it's like, 2 months down the track or 2 weeks down the track or a day later, when you talk to them, look, oh, man, yeah, I thought about it. Just don't have time. Look, man, I totally know where you're coming from. I look around, no one's got time these days. Everyone's busy being busy. I mean, just as, I wish there was more time. So I totally know where you're coming from. So have some compassion, some empathy there. Then you move into offering a new perspective, But what I saw with this is, if you put a few hours a week, just a few hours, and sacrifice a little bit of extra time doing something that might not be as important right now, because we do tend to procrastinate a lot as humans. If we can put some time aside, we can build this up. And in 3 to 5 years from now, time's not going to be a problem anymore. We're going to have all the time freedom that we've, never even thought we could ever have in life. So, can you do something like that? Because then, and you reestablish their vision, right? That's the final part. You reestablish it, because, man, you were telling me, you're going to be stuck in your job for the next 40 years. So, it looks like in 10 and 20 and 30 years from now, it's going to be the same situation, maybe even less time, because there will be kids, there'll be other things you need to do, and it's just going to be tough to ever find that time. So how about, sacrificing a little bit now so you can have a lot more time in the future, how about giving it a shot and seeing how we can go, so that kind of stuff, it comes to objection handling. Because really, objection handling is the follow-up. That's all you're doing, is just continuously handling objections until they get started, right? But also, don't just talk about the business in the follow-up. Oh, hey, man, have you had a chance to look at it? Oh, hey, man, did you think about it? Oh, hey, then it starts to be naggy. So you want to be able to just follow up, but mix it up so it's not only talking about business. Hey, how's your day been? How's your week? How's work going? How's family? And then maybe bring it back into business. And the final step, and the most important, invite's probably the one that people struggle with the most, but the one that people really tend to overlook is the system. Nothing's going to happen without systems. Residual income, passive income, is not possible without systems. So the time and money freedom that you're looking for to achieve your life-size values, there's no possible way of achieving it without a system. So this is why a system is important. So the first is your org meetings every Sunday. Most teams do them on Sunday, but every Sunday, depending on when you're set them up to review the week and plan the following week. Without this, you really, it's like not having a backbone, like not having a spine. I don't know what that looks like, feels like, but being like jelly. Every person needs a spine. So this is your spine. This is your backbone to the business. The second thing is the parties. You've got to be attending the parties, bringing the guests to see the parties. But in other words, exposing the business, exposing the opportunity and the products to people. Are you doing that on a weekly basis? Again, that's part of the system. If you're not doing it, if you're not being consistent, then how do you ever expect the business to build? It won't. Simply, it won't. It's going to fall apart, or basically never will build. So parties and general exposures, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, three-way calls, whatever way you find to expose the business, but those are the main ways. And parties are obviously the fastest and most effective and efficient way, because you get the social proof, and you get 4, 5, 10 people to all see it at once, or the bigger parties where you've got 20, 30 people. The final one is the basic trainings to, sharpen the sword, sharpen your skills, and go over these 6 points and be able to role play. The biggest one is role play. Most people miss role play, so that you can sharpen the sword, sharpen the skills, and just keep getting better, because the better you get, the better your business will get. So you've got to work harder on yourself than you do on your business, like Jim Rohn says. And when you work harder on yourself and getting your skill set up and your mindset better, then your business will grow as a result of your personal growth. So basic training is so vital to get your skill set and mindset up, and doing the role play. And again, this varies on when you have it with your team. Generally, I'm doing hours on a Monday night, but it can vary depending on when you've set it up for your team. And ultimately, you got to be able to track. You got to be tracking. That's why the end of the week, the form at the end of the week, reviewing the week and planning the next week, that's why that's so vital, because you get to overlook the week. How did I go? How did I go and what I want to do next week? Did I achieve the goals I set? But ultimately, why tracking is so important is because when you're starting out and when you're not doing so well, you got to continue tracking, because you're going to be able to have see what you've done in those weeks. And then when you start doing a little bit better and then a little bit better and then a little bit better, when you go from about a K a week to 5K a week to 10K a week to 20K a week, let's just say you get a bit stuck on 20K a week and you might dip down to 18, 17, 16K a week. You go, oh, I'm not doing that well. But in fact, you're doing 16 times better than 1K a week at 16. But you wouldn't have felt that if you weren't tracking, right? The 1, 2, 3, and you can see, hey, that's where I've come from and this is where I am now. Wow, I've improved so much. And then it kind of kicks back that confidence and you go, you know what? I might have dropped from 20, but I'm going to get back up again. I'm going to keep on going and I'm going to make it happen. Tracking is so vital for the mindset. And remember, like the Harvard study from 1979, the people who set and track their goals, that 3%, right, are earning 100 times more than the 97% who don't even set the goals. So setting and tracking is so vital. But that's the 6 steps. Quick overview. So go through that. If there's anything that you're missing, let someone know. Speak to the person that speak to your upline. Speak to your the emerald upline, diamond upline. If you need any questions answered that I can help you with, let me know. But these are this is it. These are the 6 steps you need in your business. If there's anything you're missing, it's not really going to work as much as you want it to. So, you can have a few of these and get a bit of success, but when you master all of these, that's when the true results and the success comes in. So to give you a bit of an insight, hopefully you can see, where you might need to improve on, and that's the whole point of this. But if you want to see the full 6 steps in depth, definitely check out their individual videos that the White Diamonds did on each single step. So, but that's it. These are the 6 steps to make it work, and these are the basics. And without mastering the basics, success will never happen. So that's it.